Ha strappato la vita a sua moglie perché non gli faceva vedere suo figlio, ma durante il processo si è scagliato contro sua suocera, madre della vittima, nel modo più aberrante possibile.
She hated you. You're a loser. You know, to do that to your child is pretty sick and disgusting. So, talking about being a good parent,
Nessuno riusciva a capire a cosa si riferisse l'assassino.
it could have all been prevented. All you had to do is let me see my kid. Now you're never going to see her again.
Ma la sequenza dei fatti era lapidaria contro di lui. Qualche minuto dopo aver ucciso Teresa Lynch e aver ferito un ufficiale della polizia, Randall Moore ha raccontato i motivi del suo crimine al 911.
I didn't want to do any of this.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, all I wanted was my son. I just wanted to see my 7-month-old baby. That's all I cared about.
L'abominevole crimine consisteva in un sequestro con abuso e omicidio, e il tutto perché Teresa aveva sollecitato un ordine restrittivo contro Moore per la costante violenza che subiva. Il caso aveva richiamato l'attenzione di tutti, ma l'atteggiamento dell'imputato durante il processo avrebbe generato ancora più repulsione e stupore.
What you did to my daughter, Teresa Ann Marie Lynch, was evil, hateful, and despicable. You are now dead and rotting and repulsive to me.
Read the journal she wrote. She hated you. She hated you. You're a loser.
La sua sordida strategia era affossare la madre della vittima. È stato in quel momento che ha deciso di raccontare quel che teoricamente aveva scritto Teresa Ann su di lei nei suoi diari personali.
You know, as Teresa Ann left, I started thinking about why she had left and what could have been done differently during this whole process. And then I started going through some totes of hers. I found a tote that had miscellaneous journals, and I mean, I went through every item. I read every single page of every journal that she had ever written since she was a little girl. And the most shocking thing that I came across, and I even shared this with my mom and my sister Misty here, they both read the letter, is a letter that Teresa Ann wrote to her mom when she was a little girl. And it was addressed to her mom. It was sealed, but it was never stamped, never mailed off. And it talks about the sexual abuse that she endured at the hands of her father, Tim Lynch, and how she hated him for it. And these are quotes from the letter. It says, "I was young, only a little girl, so innocent and pure. He is evil and disgusting," and then talks about it. And then she talks about what he actually did to her, and this is over quite a period of time. That has got to be the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm not saying what I did was any better, but, you know, and then...
In un modo molto freddo cercava di cancellare ogni sua colpa.
Talks in her journals about how her mom just walked out on her dad with no forewarning, no nothing, and how it ruined her life, and she hated her mom for that. And that's the reason she would never walk out on a relationship. Well, the day that Teresa Ann died, me and her had a conversation, and Teresa Ann, the first thing I told Teresa Ann, I gave her the letter that I wrote for her that talks about the postpartum depression and the things that was going on in her head that I didn't understand as a man because I didn't know what postpartum was. I thought the reason my wife was bitchy and...
La sua dichiarazione era davvero ripugnante, ma la cosa che ha fatto esaurire la pazienza del giudice e di tutti i presenti al processo è stato quel che ha detto quando si è riferito alla sua defunta ex moglie e vittima.
And I'll tell you point blank, I have not 1 ounce of remorse for Teresa Ann's death. It could have all been prevented. All you had to do is let me see my kid. Now you're never going to see her again.
Questa è stata la goccia che ha fatto traboccare il vaso e che ha fatto in modo che il giudice iniziasse un discorso davvero difficile da dimenticare.
And sometimes you just have to throw caution to the wind. And if I do cross that line today, I'm willing to cross it and pay the consequences. Let me start off by saying if anything should burn in hell, it's not Teresa Ann's yearbooks and her personal memorabilia. When you get to prison, there are 2 men you ought to look up because you have a lot in common. One of them I sentenced on May 3rd, 2010. He murdered his wife. She was divorcing him. He was lying in wait till she got out of work, then followed her on the freeway, pulled up beside her, put his weapon out the window, shot her, killed her. Of course, the car rolled over and over for a while before it came to a stop. I sentenced him for murder on May 3rd, 2010. On September 30th, 2010, I sentenced a young man to murder. Now, he wasn't married to the woman he murdered. He was living with her. And she was leaving him. He strangled her to death. You three have so much in common, I can't believe it. Yeah, shake your head, yeah, because you know you do.
L'avvocato non riusciva a sopportare quel che aveva detto Randall Moore. Il suo tentativo di generare compassione nella giuria, oltre alla sua facilità di scrollarsi di dosso la colpa di tutto quel che era successo, aveva fatto esaurire completamente la pazienza del giudice Novak.
I am really glad you had your right of elocution and you could say everything that you said, because if anybody didn't know what a piece of work you were before you start talking, they know it now. The three of you that I'm talking, I've sentenced 3 people for murder in the last 7 months. And when I say you all have a lot in common, you sure do. And it's been said before, and it can't be said enough. You're cowards. You truly are cowards. You prey on women. They give you their love. They give you their trust, and you betray that. You betray it by physically and or mentally.
Randall Moore, alla fine, sarebbe stato condannato a 3 ergastoli, senza possibilità di libertà condizionale.
The court doesn't allow me to punish you any more than I'm doing now. If I could, I would.